The kingdom of Obodoma was known for its peace and prosperity. Under the rule of King Anozie, the people thrived and the land flourished. However, beneath the surface of this tranquil kingdom lay secrets that threatened to tear the royal family apart. Prince Obinna, the heir to the throne, was the pride of the kingdom. Strong, brave, and admired by all, he was expected to follow in his father's footsteps. But unlike his father, Prince Obinna was ambitious to a fault. His hunger for power was insatiable, and he believed that the throne should be his sooner rather than later. One evening, as the golden sun dipped below the horizon, Obinna approached his father in the palace courtyard. King Anozie, seated on a carved wooden throne, was lost in thought.
"Father, I have been thinking."
Obinna began, his voice laced with determination.
"What is it, my son?"
The king looked at his son, sensing the unrest in his tone.
"It is time for you to step down. The kingdom needs a younger, more vigorous leader."
Obinna declared, his eyes flashing with ambition. King Anozie stared at his son, shocked by the brazenness of his request.
"Obinna, are you questioning my rule? Do you believe you are ready to bear the weight of this kingdom on your shoulders?"
"Father, it is not about questioning your rule, but the kingdom needs change. We need to expand our borders, conquer new lands. You are too focused on peace."
Obinna argued.
"Peace is the foundation of a strong kingdom."
King Anozie retorted, his voice rising.
"You speak of expansion and war, but have you thought of the lives that will be lost? The blood that will be spilled?"
Obinna's face hardened.
"Sometimes sacrifices must be made for greatness."
The king shook his head, disappointment etched in his features.
"You have much to learn, Obinna. You are not ready to rule. Your heart is filled with pride and arrogance."
Angered by his father's words, Obinna stormed out of the courtyard. That night, he plotted with his closest confidant, Nkem, a cunning and ruthless warrior.
"Nkem, my father is blind to the future. We must take the throne by force."
Obinna whispered, his voice cold and calculating.
"Prince, it will not be easy. The people love your father."
Nkem cautioned, though his loyalty to Obinna was unwavering.
"The people will follow whoever sits on the throne. We will stage an attack on the palace, and in the chaos, I will seize power."
Obinna explained, his plan forming in his mind. The next night, under the cover of darkness, Obinna and Nkem led a group of rebels to the palace. They attacked with precision, taking down the guards silently. As they approached the king's chambers, Obinna hesitated for a moment, but his resolve quickly returned. They burst into the chamber, swords drawn. King Anozie, awakened by the noise, stood before them, unarmed but unafraid.
"Obinna, what have you done?"
The king asked, his voice heavy with sorrow.
"I am taking what is mine, father."
Obinna replied, his sword glinting in the dim light.
"Is this how you want to rule, Obinna? Through bloodshed and treachery?"
King Anozie's voice broke as he realized the depth of his son's betrayal.
"Step down, father, or I will have no choice."
Obinna demanded, his hand trembling slightly. King Anozie looked at his son, a tear slipping down his cheek.
"If you kill me, Obinna, you will destroy yourself. The throne will be yours, but it will be cursed."
Obinna hesitated, his father's words cutting deep. But Nkem, seeing the prince's doubt, lunged forward and plunged his sword into the king's chest.
No!
Obinna shouted. It was already too late to stop it. King Anozie fell to the ground, his eyes locked on his son's.
"You've chosen your path, Obinna,"
he whispered with his last breath. As the king's life slipped away, Obinna fell to his knees, overwhelmed with guilt and regret. The throne was his, but at what cost? The kingdom would soon discover the treachery that had taken place, and though Obinna now wore the crown, the burden of his betrayal would haunt him for the rest of his days.